Biden voters flip as Portland leftists riot over his policies. In this video, we're going to take a look at the latest violence and destruction to plague the city of Portland, how Biden's migrant policies are largely to blame for the unrest, and how a Democrat civil war is all but guaranteeing that this far-left civil unrest isn't ending anytime soon. You're not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here with you. Wonderful to be with you. As always, we're here to give you each and every single day conservative hope in the midst of these turbulent and trying times, helping you to think better so you can feel better. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. We'd love to have you as a regular part of this channel. Some alt tech links down below for you Rumble fans. Make sure to click on that link below to subscribe to our Rumble channel and help us to get to 100,000 subscribers, and we're almost there. And for you Parler fans, make sure to click on the link below and subscribe to my Parler channel, and let's together support the return of this wonderful alt tech site. Speaking of, I know many of you are fans of News Ammo, which is a wonderful conservative news aggregate site. They've put together a brand new addition to their news aggregate called the Latest News page that you can check out simply by clicking on the link below. It's a supplement to News Ammo. It's going to really enrich your daily diet of information. I couldn't recommend it more. Before we begin, let's give a huge shout out to the sponsor of this video. And that, my friends, is Metabolic Greens Plus, available at my special website, greenwithsteveturley.com. All you got to do is just add one scoop of it to your drink every morning, and in less than a month, don't be surprised if you notice a significant boost in your energy, as well as friends and family commenting on how your clothes are fitting better and even your hair looking fuller and richer. And that's because Metabolic Greens Plus is a natural blend of premium toxin removers and metabolism boosters, which curbs your appetites and cravings, detoxes your body, and supercharges your metabolism. And if you click on that link down below right now, you can get a bottle shipped to you for under $50. But it's a limited time offer. Do not wait. Click on that link below or go to greenwithsteveturley.com and begin reaping the benefits of Metabolic Greens Plus for yourself today. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. It frankly just never ends in the far left city of Portland. It's being reported that protesters smashed up several businesses during the latest night of destruction in Portland over the weekend. The New York Post is reporting that around 150 black-clad Antifa protesters marched through the troubled city of Roses late Saturday, trashing businesses during what they're calling direct action against immigration and customs enforcement. According to the Oregonian, quote, windows were broken at a grocery store, restaurant, bank, shipping business, and multiple coffee shops over the course of the 2-hour rampage. Targets included a Chipotle, Starbucks, even an urban pantry, with social media images showing anti-ICE graffiti also scrawled across numerous buildings, including the ICE building itself. Cars were destroyed while mobs shined lights at diners as they banged against the windows. It was, again, according to the New York Post, it was the worst violence in weeks, in which the city saw almost constant destruction last year. Again, just to give you a sense of how bad things are there. Douglas Murray, the British journalist and culture critic, in his recent conversation with Jordan Peterson, he made a very, very interesting point. He said that upon visiting Portland relatively recently, he said he never imagined he would ever see a city in that dilapidated state, in those kind of conditions, in a first world nation. Things are really that bad. I mean, we're talking a Mogadishu in the Pacific Northwest. And a couple of weeks back, we had the on-the-ground reporter Andy No with us live to answer questions from our Insiders Club members, which you can join, by the way, by clicking on the link below. But he did not mince words in terms of how bad the conditions are right now as we speak in Portland. And his Twitter feed continued to update us. Portland, using rocks, batons, and weapons, Antifa smashed up businesses and cars in the Pearl District overnight. They completely shut down the roads. The same area was severely vandalized by Antifa back when Trump won election in 2016. In another tweet over the weekend, he wrote, Antifa forced Portland police to retreat during the riot overnight in northwest Portland. Police resources were strained and delayed during the street violence because of multiple shootings across the city they had to respond to. So it's utterly horrendous. And to add insult to injury, they just had their mayoral elections last month. And the candidate that openly stated that she is Antifa, she's the embodiment of all that Antifa stands, almost won. At one point, she was over 10 points ahead of the incumbent Ted Wheeler, who's himself an abject far-left disaster, but at least he's at war with Antifa and this ongoing Democrat civil war. And the riots over the weekend certainly underscored that. One of the things that the rioters were so upset with, of course, is Biden's reopening of migrant facilities, which are in effect reenacting Trump-era policies of housing migrant children apart from their parents. Now, as you know, the media did everything they possibly could to gaslight Biden on this. Fox News, to its credit, highlighted the utter and abject hypocrisy of the left-wing activists disguised as journalists and the mainstream Marxist media for calling the very same facilities that under Trump they designate as kids in cages the far more humane and sanitized migrant facility for children under Biden. I mean, it was hypocritical gaslighting at its most cringeworthy, and the proof is in the fact that even the far left isn't buying it. They didn't buy the question-begging gaslighting from the corporatist globalist media. And so far leftists have largely turned against Biden, as we can see with Antifa's targeting the ICE building in Portland, the Immigration Customs Enforcement building, along with all the other buildings that they were having a fun time destroying. And of course, this is not the very first time they've done this. As I'm sure you remember, we did a video on that on the very day of Biden's inauguration. You had a bunch of Portland Antifa rioters targeting and vandalizing the Oregon Democrats' head office in Portland before descending on an Immigration and Customs Enforcement facility. And we've had videos circulating on Twitter showing Antifa protesters dressed in black, marching down the streets, playing drums, and shouting F Joe Biden. So the far left has wasted little time in hating on Biden. And his presidency already risks not satisfying anyone. He's trying to appease the far left, while at the same time disappointing them, and they're just in no mood, obviously, to be disappointed. But again, all of this points to a far wider civil war going on in the Democratic Party that threatens to tear the party apart. Now, before we get into that, if you're looking for an encouraging and hopeful alternative to all the fake news nonsense that's being spewed out there on a daily basis from the leftist likes of CNN and MSNBC and the New York Times, you're going to find no better antidote than what's in the pages of my book, The Return of Christendom. Now, don't take my word for it. Just read through all the reviews on Amazon, over 260 of them, and you'll see how this book cuts through all the cynicism and despair that we so often feel living in this crazy globalist world. So in page after page, I give you all the data and the statistics and the indicators that show nothing less than a new conservative Christian majority emerging throughout the United States and Europe, and it's already transforming the world map into a more nationalist, populist, and traditionalist world. And if you click on that link below, we'll make it even sweeter. We're offering it for a limited time at a 50% discount. That's right, 50% off. So don't wait. This is a limited time offer. Click on that link, get your book at a super discount today, and arm yourself with the information you need to crush fake news once and for all. All right, so what the latest riots in Portland are demonstrating for us, in a way that's loud and clear, is that we are once again seeing leftists fighting leftists. And what that means is that we're seeing a battle between two different leftist factions. So it's a battle between the old white bougie neoliberal establishment Democratic left, the Bidens, the Pelosi's, the Schumers on one side, and the radical left, the Marxist BLM and Antifa left on the other. So it's an old left versus the new left. And we have example after example of the new left turning on the old left. It all started with the Minneapolis soy boy Mayor Jacob Fry. Do you remember this? His humiliation at a BLM rally where he was forced to take the walk of shame as demonstrators demanded get the F out of there. We saw something similar in Portland with Ted Wheeler, their mayor there, when an Antifa and BLM crowd he was originally marching with turned on him. They demanded that he resign. And so he made a complete 180 and admitted that Antifa was deliberately attempting to commit murder in his city, all right? And then you got Jenny Durkin, the ultra-left mayor of Seattle, the once brave defender of the Chaz Autonomous Zone, right? The Summer of Love. She's had to face a major recall effort led by far leftists upset that she allowed police to use tear gas to disperse demonstrators and rioters. We could go on and on and on. Forget de Blasio versus Cuomo, for heaven's sakes. In every one of these cases, it's left versus left. It's Democrat versus Democrat. It's this new Antifa BLM left versus the old establishment white bougie left. The AOCs versus the Nancy Pelosi's, the Rashida Tlaibs versus the Joe Bidens. Make no mistake, the Democrat Party is in a civil war, and our nation's cities have turned into battlegrounds with the Civil War. And frankly, people, especially those on the political left, they've had enough with it. It's being widely reported that Portland business owners and residents, they have had it with all this far-left nonsense. They want their city back. They want the violence and the riots to come to an end. And of course, the problem for them is that the Democrats, who have a monopoly over Portland, can't do anything about it because it's their civil war. So either Portlanders are going to have to revitalize the Republican Party there, or they're going to have to move out. There's just no other way around it. And unfortunately for them, this is a leftist civil war that's largely of their own making. The radical incoherence of the far left has come home to roost in Portland. Portlanders have no one else to blame but themselves. Now, before you go, make sure to like this video, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel. You definitely want to check out my latest video. I just uploaded it. It was actually our live stream last night, which was really cool. And it was my analysis of President Trump's CPAC speech yesterday, where I argued that Trump is indeed turning the Republican Party into the new Patriot Party. You're not going to want to miss it. So make sure to click on the link, and I will see you over there. God bless.